Well, it's finally over. Oh boy. I said that this book would either make or break this trilogy, and my instincts were completely on the mark. As always, you have to listen to your gut when it comes to such things because, of course, the last book in the three-body problem, Death's End, is something else, okay? It's the longest in the trilogy, and this is something extremely specific that I want to say about this book, is that reading it, in comparison to the other two, reading this one was just a chore. It was a slog. It was a drag. It was just, at points, it was just torture, okay? There are points in this book where I am just, what are we even doing here? What's going on here? Why are we even here anymore? Okay? And I will say this yet again. I will repeat myself. This is just my opinion, but this is what I have concluded when it comes to sci-fi authors. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, but I think I'm pretty accurate, okay? When it comes to most sci-fi authors, they are idea people. They are innovative. They have high IQ. They have a proclivity for sciences, for ideas, for hypotheses, whatever. Okay, they are idea people. They really have a mind that most of us cannot comprehend. They are amazing, and they're good at what they do, of course, but when it comes to the simplest things, when it comes to a novel, which is basic storytelling and basic characters, telling a good story and writing human three-dimensional characters that I can hate or love, most sci-fi authors fail miserably, and I have to say the author of the three-body problem fails miserably yet again at storytelling and at characters. Okay, this is just what I have concluded when it comes to sci-fi authors. Of course, I haven't read them all. There are exceptions, of course, but the majority of them are idea people. They are about concepts. Okay, top-tier concepts. Okay, and I would say this, that because they have this tendency to lean towards the sciences and just cogitation in general, they are not equipped to just write a good novel. A good novel is basic storytelling and human characters. And when it comes to Death's End, yet again, I'm just startled by all of this. Just startled. And this is just me, okay? This is not what a novel should be. Of course, I am not the absolute authority on anything, especially not on literature, but this is not how a novel should be. And let me tell you this. The last 100 or 200 pages, I was just like begging this book to end. I was begging the author to end all of this because I was just frantically bored, frantically just in pain almost. I was just sighing. And this is it. This is the hallmark of me reading this book. I was just sighing and yawning throughout this, okay? That doesn't mean that it's not a good book. The concepts, yet again, of course, the author shines at these technological and scientific concepts, but I'm not here for that. If these aspects of sci-fi are, your favorites, of course, then this is a book for you. But for me, I want more than just, explaining technology, and let me tell you about electromagnetic waves and quarks and how all of this works. I'm not here for a science lesson. I don't want a data dump. I'm not here for a science lesson. I don't want to know about quantum physics and quantum mechanics. I'm here for a story. I'm here to root for people. I'm here to maybe sympathize a bit with some of the villains. Something. There has to be, what's the goal here? There is no goal here. There's nothing here. In my view, at least. Okay? And if you know, I stumbled upon this trilogy, The Three-Body Problem, by watching, channels like Quinn's Ideas, amazing videos. And this is what I have concluded. There is a big problem when theory and lore videos by fans are way more captivating and immersive than the actual book themselves. So the videos by Quinn's Ideas about the lore of these books are more interesting to me, way more interesting, way more captivating than the books themselves. If videos by fans talking about your books are are way superior and better than the books themselves, then we have a major problem here. I would rather watch a video about the Three-Body Problem than read this book trilogy. I will never ever touch this trilogy again. It's just not for me. It's not my cup of tea. Okay? It's just it's I don't even know what to say. Right? And the reason why I'm so puzzled is because I had high expectations, of course. After watching so many videos, I was just like, oh boy, it seemed to me, after, diving into the lore videos and what have you, it seems to me that the Three-Body Problem was the latest darling of the sci-fi community. Watching those videos gave me the impression that the Three-Body Problem was dark. It was just out of this world. It was a masterpiece of unparalleled genius. And I have to say, after reading these books, that I am not really impressed. Okay, it's just me. If this book trilogy is your favorite, then that's wonderful. That's swell. It's just not for me. The last 100 pages of this, I was just like out of it. I was just in a fugue state, in a daze. I was just didn't care. And this is yet another hallmark of my impression of this book, Death's End, and the whole trilogy. I don't care about what is happening. I don't care of the fact that the Trisolarians are gonna come here and destroy all of us. I don't care about any of this. I don't care that in this book the Earth and the solar system get destroyed, kind of. I don't care about any of this. I don't care that humanity is eradicated with the exception of maybe 2 people. I don't care. And even more depressing in a way, I don't care about any of the characters. Absolutely indifferent. Indifferent. If you ask me about any of these characters, my response to you is, I do not care. I am indifferent to their existence. Okay? With exceptions like the Beihai character. Was he a general? He was a high-ranking military officer. He was kind of cool in the second book, but he's gone, right? And this is another thing that, or I should say, an issue with this book trilogy is, like, who is the actual protagonist? Okay, because in the first book, we kind of have this scientist or researcher who whose job is researching nanomaterials, right? And in the first book we also have a kind of main character, this detective Dashi, and I thought, okay, these two will be important. By the second book, they're pretty much irrelevant. Dashi kind of shows up in the second book, and then he's gone as well. So the so-called protagonists in the first novel, they're ancient news. They're gone. Okay. In the second book, we have this wall facer Luo OG, and I thought, okay, this guy is important. This guy is gonna shine. He's gonna be protagonist material. He just has to develop. He has to mature. He has to stumble upon obstacles to grow as a person and become the protagonist that we need. But no, it does not happen. So Luo OG ain't nothing. He's ancient news. And now at Death's End, guess what? After a long absence, Luo OG pops up, and he's old as dirt. And for the last 50 years, he has been staring at a wall because he is deterring the Trisolarians from doing suspicious stuff, right? And he, of course, is no longer a main character. He's just some guy. He's nothing, especially in this book. He's nothing. I mean, yeah, he sacrifices a lot of his life to deter the Trisolarians, and whatever. He's nothing. Okay, and now in this book, we have this other would-be protagonist. Let me find her name. Okay, her name is Cheng Xin, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And she is just the worst. Okay, Shen Jin, the female protagonist or main character of Death's End, I mean, she's just terrible. She's just a terrible person in general. She becomes the second sword holder. She inherits this title and responsibility from Luo OG, who's almost dying, and you think, okay, this is gonna be some real stuff. But like a minute after she becomes the next sword holder, she fumbles the bag terribly. The minute Luo OG hands the button over, the deterrence button, like the Trisolarians attack, and instead of doing what she was supposed to do, she fumbles the bag, she hesitates, and the Trisolarians win. Okay, and that's not enough, okay? She fumbles the bag with this, and then secondly, her second major mistake is that, you know, an opportunity arises for humanity to research, you know, developing spaceships that can reach light speed. Okay, this is a major plot point. This is big. Okay, and it all depends on her because she is a big deal, apparently. She is the second sword holder, and people apparently need her permission to do this. And guess what? She rejects this thing, so people don't don't do the necessary research to develop spaceships that can reach light speed. So, because of this, this is her second major mistake, and because of this, when the Earth and the solar system, you know, get annihilated, most people, they just can't escape. So the majority of the population, of Earth's population, humanity dies, billions of people, because she made all of these two mistakes. Okay, and she gets to live, by the way. Okay, so she has doomed a whole lot of people to death, and she is still kind of made this sympathetic character, and I am just, no, she's not likable. Okay, we have this guy, I think his name is Tian Ming, and he is hopelessly in love with her for whatever reason, and he buys her a star. But that's not enough. This guy's brain is sent to space in the hope of being captured by the Trisolarians, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about if you've read this book. So this guy makes all of these sacrifices for her, for this Shen Xing, who is just a terrible person, who dooms humanity. And I'm just like, man, simping ain't good. Simping ain't easy. It's never a good idea to simp for somebody who is not worthy. And I would say that Shen even though she is projected as this good person, kind-hearted, a beautiful woman, with good qualities. No. Okay. Before this guy gifted her a star, she didn't care about this guy. This guy was a crumb in the back of her head. She didn't care about this guy. Okay. At all. And all of a sudden, after he made all of these sacrifices, she cares, and I'm just like shaking my head. Okay, never be a simp, guys. Never be a simp. What else? The Trisolarians themselves. Okay, another major flaw or mistake that the author makes. The Trisolarians. We still don't get enough of the Trisolarians. The Trisolarians are way in space. We never really get their point of view again from the first book, and because finally the signal is sent, which reveals the location of Earth and the Trisolarian planet, the Trisolarians have to veer off and have to escape, because now Earth and Trisolarius are are pretty much targets, and that's pretty much the last time we see the Trisolarians, this big threat, this ominous alien race that called humanity bugs, who had this crazy level of technology, and they are barely there. And when the location of their planet is revealed and the Earth's location is revealed, the Trisolarians, they just go into space, and that's the last thing we hear about them. And this is the problem, is that the author has been cooking the Trisolarians as these big baddies. They're coming, and they have all of these schemes. Their technology is insane, and they just want to get rid of us. And now they're just gone. Like all of our protagonists in this book trilogy. They're just here a moment, and then they're gone, and we never hear about them again. And this is it. This is the question. Why should I care? I don't care about these aliens, the Trisolarians. Who were they in the end? Right? For 2.5 books, the Trisolarians were just, man, they're coming. They're coming. It took them almost 400 years to come to Earth, and then and it was building up, and oh boy, we're cooked, and then they just go somewhere else, and that's it. And I'm just like, it's the same thing with the others in A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. Martin. They should be coming today, Junior. Today, winter should be here. Where are the ice zombies? The same thing with the Trisolarians today. And when the appointed time arrives for them to come here and do something, they just, because of plot, they just go somewhere else, and that's it. That is it. Okay? And what's even worse is that another alien species, probably even more advanced than the Trisolarians themselves, they discover the location of Earth, and they send this incredibly advanced weapon, advanced from our point of view, this, I would say this two-dimensional piece of paper. And what this little weapon does is that it folds three-dimensional space into 2 dimensions, and that's pretty much, we're cooked. And it folds the entire solar system, our solar system, into a 2-dimensional plane, and we're cooked. And pretty much all the planets, they're gone. They are in 2 dimensions. Even this other alien species, like, it's just, we're getting not even crumbs, not even a fraction of who they are, what's their deal. They fire the weapon, and that's it. They go on their business, because apparently, due to the fact that the universe, space, is this dark forest where every species is hiding and hunting for other life forms to destroy them. Like, it seems that space in every alien species in the infinity of space, its sole mission is to destroy everybody else. And that's pretty much it. We don't really... They are not developed. We are not privy to intricacies of their lifestyle, of their mindsets. Do they really have to do this? Do all of these alien species have to do this? They have to destroy advanced races across the universe? I don't know. So even this is just, I don't care. I just don't care. The ending of this book is, I would say it's bizarre, if nothing else. It is, it catches me off guard. I have to give the author his props, because the ending kind of catches me off guard, which is that, after, the solar system is destroyed, Cheng Jin and another person, they survive, and they decide, well, let's go to the star that this guy bought for me, this simp, and we'll meet him there, because apparently he will be there as well. And just when you think these two characters who are kind of in love with each other now for some reason, even though they haven't really met in who knows how much time, they are about to meet finally at this star, and something happens. Of course, it's a lot of scientific mumbo jumbo, but the gist of it is that Shen Jin and this other guy, something happens, and they go into light speed, if I understand this correctly, and like 18 million years pass. For some reason, they're stuck in this light speed orbit or whatever, and they move so fast, it takes, when they finally, come up with a solution to stop the ship from moving so fast, 18 million years have passed. Okay? So, because of this, Shen Jing's simp, I think his name is Tian Ming, he's dead. He has been dead for 18 million years, and the star that he gave her as a present, even the star has been long dead, imploded, and everything that they knew has died. It's been a long time, okay? And this is probably, of course, this ending is tragic. It's bittersweet, but mostly bitter, and just, hey, ain't no way, right? And the problem is that this ending actually exposes the greatest flaw and fault of this book trilogy, which is what the hell was all of this about in the end? Because the Trisolarians, they're gone. The other alien species, gone. The Earth and the solar system and most of humanity, gone. Like, it's been 18 million years. Nothing that happened throughout these books matters. Nothing matters. And maybe this is the point. Maybe this is the point that the author was trying to get across, but I'm just like, by the end, I'm just flaccid and fatigued, and I'm just, out of energy. What was all of this for? Like, by the end, folks, the Trisolarians are just, who the hell were these aliens? Like, get out of here, you bums. And I'll say this, the Trisolarians are bums. Like, they ain't nothing. I don't care about the Trisolarians. Oh, right? By the end of this book trilogy, at Death's End, nothing matters. Absolutely. Remember Dashi? This quirky detective? I liked him, and he kind of just disappeared. Right? And we're left with Chen Jin, who's an unlikable person. right? And she gets to live for some reason. I'll probably end it with this, okay? The major flaw of this book and the three-body problem as a whole. I understand that the author was a professor or still is a professor or whatever, and the author is is a lover of the sciences and technology, blah blah blah. You know what I'm talking about. The author writes this book, specifically this book, in a way that it's just so grueling to read, okay? This is not how a novel should be, in my view. And this is the major flaw of this book trilogy and this book in particular. This book, 700 plus pages, this is what this book essentially is, okay? So Shenjin, she goes into hibernation. Like 120 years pass, and she wakes up from hibernation, and and we are presented with leaps in technology. This is what has been changed. Spaceships are like this. The international fleet and the space fleet and the Asia fleet and Europa, and then she goes into hibernation. Another 120 years pass. She wakes up from hibernation again, and we have to repeat this again, and she has to see all of the advances in technology and all of these international. Earth International is now something else international, and now the NATO, and you know what I'm saying? This is the entirety of this book, and I'm just like, after a while, it becomes a chore. It becomes a chore to read. Who wants to read all of this? This is not a novel. This is detailed descriptions of something that I'm not interested in. Trivia, generic trivia. Okay? Trivia. Miscellaneous. And it goes on, and now we have better ships, and now we have cities in space, and now we have cities on planets, and then our ships are like this, and now we have curvature engines, and we have fission engines, and I'm just like, I don't care about all of this. Why are you telling me how fission engines work? I don't care about all of this. And, there's this thing in literature called showing, not telling, okay? It might be a cliche. I don't completely agree with it, but in this case, folks, when it comes to this book in particular, man, the author shows nothing and just tells everything. But what the author tells is a whole lot of trivia, generic miscellaneous descriptions of technical mumbo-jumbo and scientific pish-posh that nobody cares about. Nobody should care about this, right? So when it comes to this deterrence signal, for example, our author goes to this grueling chore of describing us the difference between electromagnetic waves, because they are the weakest, and the further they go into space, they become weaker and thinner. And let me tell you about photons, and let me tell you about quarks. And I'm just like, bro, this is not a science lesson. Okay, this is not a science lesson. It's not that deep, little bro. This was supposed to be a novel, not a scientific thesis on curvature. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's just not my cup of tea. Now, of course, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, a downer. There are, of course, positives to this book, to this trilogy. Some of the passages are brilliantly written. Okay, there is beauty, there is art, there is poetry, there is philosophy. And yes, there are extremely dark moments in the Three-Body Problem trilogy that I appreciate. Where the author shines the most and excels is when he shows, just what humans might do when they are cornered and when they are faced with despair. That is where the author shines the most, where he exposes the dark heart and the dark tendencies of human beings. And those are my favorite parts of this trilogy. Okay, everything else is just, oh, didn't you know that in the future, every wall you touch, a screen pops up and there's all information. And in the future, men are extremely effeminate, blah, 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 and NATO, and Asia International, and Europa International, they have merged, and now they are international, and the ships used to be like this, but now they are like this, and I'm just like, and let me tell you about the hibernation pods, and let me tell you about how that works. I'm just like, stop, right? It's not fair for me to make this comparison, but I'm gonna make it anyway. To give you a better example of what a sci-fi book series should be, I think that the Hyperion Cantos, for example, by Dan Simmons, is way better. So intriguing, so immersive, so captivating. Good storytelling, mysteries, characters that I love and hate. Everything is so wonderful, so rich, so, and yes, there is scientific mumbo jumbo in there, but it's just overshadowed by all of the good stuff, all of the good qualities. And because of this, I would say that the Hyperion Cantos is way superior to the three-body problem. The three-body problem, all of the three books, have been crippled by this scientific, technical nerd stuff, because that's what it is. It's just too much nerd stuff. Okay? And I'm not here to demean science in any way, but it's just like I was here for a novel to grip me, to captivate me. Okay? It's just too much. And let me tell you about all of the, space suits that they wear and how they function. And they're so light and they're so thin and nobody cares. And let me tell you about the little thrusters that they use in order to propel themselves in zero gravity. And they have this belt that kind of activates a sort of magnetic field, and they can kind of move around in space because of this. And I'm just like, yeah, that's neat. Whatever. Weren't the Trisolarians supposed to come in today? Right? It's just, man, there are good parts. Of course, there are good parts, but they are just dwarfed and minimized by all of this minutia that nobody should care about. It's a lot of the stuff in these books are irrelevant, insignificant. Like, it's basically a dissertation on various scientific and technical details that I shouldn't care about because I'm here for a novel, for a story, for characters. Okay, it's all right if you sprinkle some of this stuff here and there so that it melds well with the overall story, the overall novel, but just page after page, paragraph after paragraph, chapter after chapter, hundreds and hundreds of chapters of all of this, only this. And let me tell you about the Great Ravine and the resettlement in Australia, mate. Croaky, for no reason. And yeah, that was neat, that was dark, but overall it didn't mean nothing because after a couple of months they go back to their homes. So yeah, whatever. It's just, there is so much page time reserved for, let me tell you about all of these technological advancements. Even though the Trisolarians have crippled humanity because of the sophons, the particle accelerators have been tampered with by the sophons, yada yada, humanity still persists, whatever. Let me describe, this and that. Let me tell you how, you can magnify a signal by shooting it to the sun and it magnifies, and therefore I'm just like, yeah, okay. Uh, this is the template of this book in particular. When all of these smart people, they are met with an obstacle. You know, they're like, how do we do this in order to achieve this? And somebody has an idea. Well, we can do this, and because of this, we do this. And you think, okay, we're gonna skip all of this. No, the author just sits down and just tells you bit by bit, beat by beat, how this plan will unfold from A to Z, and this author will tell you how all of this science actually works. And if you're a fan of that, then that is great. But I am not a fan of this. This to me is not how a novel should be. Because after the deterrence plan fails, and the signal is sent revealing the locations of Earth and Tri-Solaris, you know, NATO and all of these organizations, they come up with like 3 points, you know, the bunker plan, having, I don't know, cities in space, whatever, and just developing light speed ships to escape, you know, into space. And the author just gives you every detail of all of these plans, and I'm just like, it's too much. It's too much. All of this page time should have been reserved specifically for actual storytelling and for the development of actual characters, not extremely detailed descriptions of scientific palaver and terminology. It's right. You know, I'm being too harsh, of course, but it's just like, man, I was expecting a trilogy that would blow my mind in every aspect, you know, and of course, there are these insane concepts that I like. You know, space used to be a 10-dimensional or 11-dimensional space or whatever, and these characters, they explain how all of these dimensions work, and you can fold a 3-dimensional plane in 2 dimensions, but from a 4-dimensional point of view, you can't fold it into 2 dimensions. And I'm just like, yeah, that's neat. You know, that's neat. I didn't need to know all of this. Every concept, no matter how minute, that is introduced, the author goes above and beyond to tell you exactly how all of this came to be, and all of the components. And we had to create this bunker, and we dug through all of the layers of the Earth's crust, and we're gonna tell you all of these layers and how it all came to be. And don't you know, the pipes and the wires and blah, 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 and I'm just like, right? It's too much. It's too much. Okay, and by the end, and the end is just the end. The actual ending it's just so. After everybody has died, and Shenzhen and a couple of others, like she and another guy, they are the only 2 survivors. They have an option of waiting until another big bang happens, so that another universe is born, or they take a chance and they go into this universe, and this is how it ends. They go into this universe, they take a chance, a leap of faith, and they go into the dark forest that is the infinity of space. And that's pretty much how it ends. It ends on a dull note, if I'm being honest, and we're left with a couple of questions, no answers, and by the end, I was not interested in anything or anyone or everything that happened. Not interested. I was kind of over it, bored. If this book trilogy is your favorite, please tell me why in the comments. It's just not for me. I want something a bit more, active, a bit more something else. This is not how it was supposed to be. If you were a bit disappointed, like I was, by the three-body problem, then I would recommend, the Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons, because, and this is it, because that is far superior, a far better read. And I would say this, even the Endymion books of that series are far better than the three-body problem. And yes, that is completely subjective, but I have to say it. Even the Endymion books are better than these books. Okay? It's that's saying a lot, because the Endymion books are not that good. But even in the Endymion books, some things happen that I care about. I care about the characters in particular in that book series. Even that book series has flaws, but still, it's far more captivating and intriguing than Death's End and all of the others. So that's about it. In conclusion, the three-body problem, this trilogy, is not something that I would ever recommend anybody else. To me, it was a bit of a waste of time, a lot of dull moments, and unfortunately, I will never, ever, ever read these books again. Never, ever. Will never touch them again, because I have far better books to read. Okay, that's about it. If you want to support your boy, I got a few books on Amazon. The link will be down below. If the link does not work, you can search my name, Griffith Samsara. Thanks for watching. Keep on reading good books. See ya.